What is happening, TwT fans? It is so good to be back. It is time for another episode of Talking with Topher. This is episode 314. It is April 9th, 2026. And of course, as always, I just want to start out by saying thank you. Thank you to all of my subscribers out there. You're the reason I keep coming back week after week. If you're just stopping by, checking it out, click that subscribe button. All right, that's how you can help out the channel. It's free for you. This is not free to do. You want an opportunity to tell your story, be a guest, tell someone else's story, send an email over, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. That's talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. The official email of the podcast. That's talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. Go ahead, send an audio, video, or type it out. Linktree in the description below the video. Click that link. Gives you access to everything TwT. It's just that easy. And don't forget to go and check out all of the links that I have left you for this episode so you can dive in and do your own research. Now, let's get this party started.
Nuclear weapons are faker than space, and no nuclear weapon was ever dropped in the history of humanity. Now, I know you will be like, oh, that's not true. What about Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Well, let me tell you something about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So Tokyo was devastated from a series of firebombing, and this is the aftermath of a firebombing series in Tokyo. Now let that sink in. So if we go to Hiroshima and look at the aftermath, it looks just like the aftermath of a series of firebombings. And how could telephone poles and electricity lines survive what appears to be the most catastrophic explosion in human history? And you know what's crazy? There was actually a hospital that was right next to the drop zone of the nuclear bomb in Hiroshima, and everyone in the hospital actually survived. And what about the nuclear fallout, which should render the area uninhabitable for thousands or even hundreds of years? But guess what? It's a flourishing city now. Do you see what I'm saying? All you have to do is use common sense and connect the dots. And if you watch all of these videos of nuclear explosions, you know, the Nuketown testing, it's all fake. It's just like the moon landing. It's a Hollywood production. Like it is so unbelievably obvious. But people have been more brainwashed than ever since the television was invented. It's an MK Ultra experiment.
Oh, shit, dude. All right, so I think I touched on this a couple week ago, whatever, but this is something that people are discussing, and I'm not saying that they're not real, okay? I do believe the nuclear weapon exists. We do have nuclear energy, do we not? We don't? So if we don't have nuclear energy, then we don't have nuclear power, which means we don't have nuclear anything. No nuclear, nothing? So did the meltdowns at the power plants actually happen? Is anything real? Is anything real today? That's what I'm getting at, everybody. Is anything that we've been told real? Because so far, the only thing that I know is real is what I can physically touch with my hands. Because other than that, everybody's been lying to me my entire life. And this blew my mind. It blew my mind, everybody. We are in a world now where nuclear weapons are not real. Well, you know what? Even if they're not real, I don't want to find out. Could it all just be a threat? Could it be another thing that Hollywood magic made it capable for the United States to be the first? It's not like we haven't done it already, right? So here we go. Let's start digging in. Did you see Aldi's? Check this out. Wild shit here.
I'm here at Aldi, and almost everything they have contains bioengineered food ingredients.
Wow, look at that. Bioengineered food ingredient. Bioengineered food ingredient. Bioengineered food ingredients. Whoa, I buy the... What?
Contains a bioengineered food ingredient.
What the fuck is going on here? Oh my God, everybody. What? So, okay. So now this is all making a lot more sense to me. Now, I will be upfront with you all. I do not shop at Aldi's. I also do not shop at Market Basket. But that's only because Market Basket's in a really bad location in Manchester, and I hate going in and out of it. But this is wild. The people dropping dead today are astronomical, and we all know why. We all know why. So this is very, very interesting. I thought this was so cool. Check this out.
About an amazing natural remedy for clotting. It's called Natto kinase. This is an enzyme that comes from Natto. Natto is a...
Now, if you want to look this up, it is Nattokinase. Okay? Just in case you wanted to look it up while you were listening.
fermented soybean, which is also good to pull calcium buildup out of the arteries. So if you have this buildup in your arteries from fibrous tissue and it's stopping circulation going to your brain or your legs, and your legs are falling asleep or you have poor circulation, this could help you. Also, there's some positive effects for endometriosis because there's fibrous tissue in that condition, and pulmonary embolism, and also to potentially help with cirrhosis. So many people take it as an alternative to aspirin to lower the chance of getting a stroke because it will rid clots and even thin the blood. It's interesting that this one enzyme has so many cool effects for the heart and also the brain. It's neuroprotective, but for the heart, it's anti-thrombotic, so it prevents the formation of clotting. It's anti-hypertensive, so it's good for high blood pressure. It's anticoagulation, so it helps thin the blood, so the blood is not so sticky and thick. And lastly, it's anti-atherosclerosis. So basically, it'll keep your arteries clean.
Now, right here it says, clinical dose, 4 to 6 capsules a day, plus 500 milligrams of curcumin, 6 to 9 months to fully detox, 30 days every quarter for maintenance. Spike protein self-replicates, accumulative environmentally. So if you want to try and clean yourself out, I mean, at the end of the day, I will recommend water fasting over anything. I think it was a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now. I don't know what podcast it was, but we had a thing in there where, you know, you could detox. The woman was talking about how detoxing for 7 days, like, basically gets rid of almost all addictions, you know, and if we could put people in a assisted coma for 7 days and just feed them fluids, by the time they wake up, they're no longer addicted or dealing with it or having withdrawal symptoms, and then they can fully clean out. Well, I found out over time, trying to figure out how to get the shot out of me, how to get the spike protein out of my body, which is still in my body, but supposedly I got COVID whatever months ago. And that's fine if I finally caught it for the first time. But I actually tested myself to see if the spike protein was in my body, and it was. Now, it can't be determined whether or not it was from the shot 2, 3, 4, whatever years ago, 2021, so 5 years ago now. They can't tell if it's from that shot or if it's from actual COVID, but there was traces of the spike protein in my body. But if I could take something that would wash it out and get rid of it, then maybe I can have another chance of ridding this. It's no wonder the government tried to ban this drug. So what she's doing, she took 2 pills and she took a sip of water. And now, what is NAC? It limits alcohol-induced liver damage, acne, limits ADHD med toxicity, reduces addiction, COPD, reduces mucus, reduces OCD symptoms, reduces OCD symptoms? Really? I need that. Reduces depression and anxiety, which we all suffer from, I'm sure. Relieves autism, bipolar, and schizophrenia. Limits Tylenol-induced liver damage. It's stable form of cysteine, non-essential AA, stabilizer for the formation of protein structures. Glutathione normalizes neurotransmitters. Very interesting, everybody. I'm going to have to look into this NAC. It has me intrigued. I mean, what am I doing? My OCD is out of control these days, and I don't know what to do about it anymore. It's driving me absolutely insane. So you can find this at Amazon. They make 900 milligrams. There's a company called Thorne, THORNE, 365 Whole Markets makes an NAC. Life Extension, Now, Pure, Hepayard, or Hepagard. So this is readily available, and you may not have to take an actual pharmaceutical. Look at this, people. I've given you 2 drugs already today that you can possibly take to not have the things going on in your body that you have going on. We've got a way to get rid of and detox ourselves from the spike protein and help our arteries and help everything clean out and hopefully stay clean with the soybean extract that I just showed you a couple moments ago. And now you have an NAC, which can help with depression, schizophrenia, autism, and hopefully, in my case, OCD. Because, man, oh man, I need some goddamn assistance. But I won't ever go back to pharmaceutical drugs or a doctor that I don't believe in. Right? We're not going to do this to ourselves anymore. All right? That's my new rule to myself. I'm not doing this to myself anymore. Not. It has to stop with us. And I don't care what doctor doesn't want to listen to what I found on the internet. Because, God damn it, it should be a discussion. And if your doctor can't have that discussion, I believe that's the wrong doctor. Because it's not about me saying, I found this, I know this, you do that. It's always in a question form. Hey, I found this. Do you think it relates to me? Do you think that this is something that could possibly be going on? What tests could we do to see if this is what's going on with me? And if there is a test, then I take the test. And then if the doctor's like, well, I also recommend this. Okay, let me look into that. Let me do some more research on that. Let me be the final decider of what happens to me. But also, is there a test for that? Because we can take your test. I will take your test. And I want to take my test. And I want to see both results before I make a final decision on popping a pill every single day. Doesn't sound that crazy to me to be asking these type of questions today. It really doesn't. I really don't think it's terrible to have open dialogue with your doctor about what's going to be happening with your body. Right? So now the DEA is considering further registration. Let's see what the registration is all about.
U.S. Department of Health and Human Services actually holds the patent on cannabis oil for medical use. That patent is titled Cannabinoids as Antioxidants and Neuroprotectants. It was awarded to the Department of Health and Human Services in October of 2003. It was filed 4 years earlier in 1999 by a group of scientists from the National Institute of Mental Health, which is part of the National Institutes of Health. So what you need to know is that the patent gives the federal government exclusive rights on the use of cannabinoids for treating neurological diseases, diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and stroke, and diseases caused by oxidative stress such as heart attack, Crohn's disease, diabetes, and arthritis. Which means that while the DEA, the FDA, and HHS claim there is no evidence of any medical value for cannabis, and while tens of thousands of families struggle to get life-saving oil for their kids, the feds know enough about the value of cannabis to hold a patent on it as medicine. Now, how is that acceptable?
Do you see and understand why we need to stop listening to them? So the drug that they deem illegal have a patent on cannabis oil, which could be helping thousands of people today. They have a patent on it and they won't do anything with it. Why? Because this is what they do. Just lies. It's all lies. They know what is good for us. They know that what they're doing is not right for us. They know what they're doing, everybody. And this just proves it to me over and over and over again, man. Wild, dude. Dude, the food, the medicines, and we, that's what we've been talking about for about 40 minutes, right? That this toxicity and this craziness that they're just poisoning us with over and over and over again between the pills and the food and Aldi's and this. Bioengineered meat and food and ingredients. Oh my. Well, have you ever thought about what we're doing to our dogs? Have you ever thought about the life expectancy of animals and how it's gone down? Our best friends are also being poisoned. Look at this, dude. Look at this.
This Katherine Heigl ad changed my dog's life.
Back in the 1920s, before kibble even existed, farmers fed their dogs table scraps, and yet a golden retriever could live a full 17 to 19 years. But today, 100 years later, that...
Now, I do want to stop this real quick, just because of the simple fact that, yes, 1920s, okay, just before we even go any further, I want to think about this for one moment. In the 1920s, what was the food like back then? It was really good. It was really, really controlled. Everything was done very well. This is before mass production. This is before corporate America. This is before the government got their hands around the neck of all of us and started poisoning us with whatever cheap shit that they could find that would make the food more affordable to make for them so that they could get more profit. The table scraps that we are talking about in the 1920s is not the same table scraps that we are talking about today in 2026. None of the sauces, the ingredients, the spices, the the stuff that's already pre-made with 1,000 preservatives coming out of the freezer, going into the oven, and going into your mouth. That is not what we are talking about. We are talking about table scraps that are real chicken, real beef, nothing added to them. They were properly potatoes out of the fucking ground. That's what I'm talking about. This is the little bit of a message that I believe is completely lost today. And this is why people find it hard to believe that they are being poisoned today, because they think that what we're eating today is the same that the people in the 1920s were eating, the same that people in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even the 70s were eating. It's not. It's not the same food. As of the 1980s to today, it is completely and absolutely changed 1,000%. That is why we are all sick, so that they could get profit.
Same breed lives just 9 to 12 years. So what changed in our dogs? In the 1950s, pet food companies saw an opportunity. They warned people table scraps were dangerous. They marketed heat-dried pellets as scientifically balanced. Then even the vets.
Okay, so it was the 1950s. My apologies. I was actually 30 years off. I gave them a little bit more than I should have. Sorry about that, everybody. But as you can see, they deemed table scraps dangerous. This is what they do.
Started recommending kibble. Now, most dogs get ultra-processed food made in factories. But what if the real foods your dog needed were in your kitchen all along?
This is my wife, Katherine Heigl. Dogs love her, like a lot. And she loves them so much, she spent years researching which human foods are amazing for dogs and which ones secretly do more harm than good. She read every label, every study, talked to every canine expert, and what she discovered shocked her. She found out that even the healthy stuff can be hurting dogs. So one day she posted a video about it, and it blew up. People started commenting things like, "My dog's not itching anymore. Her energy came back. His coat is soft. He's acting like a puppy again." Here's the video we're talking about.
Don't buy these dog foods.
All right, we're not going to go through all the dog foods. I kind of want to get... Okay, there it is, everybody. Superfood Complete. All right, well, there it is. That's what I'm going to be looking into next. Look, I am in the middle of a dog food crisis, you could say. We got the new dog almost a year ago, and she absolutely hates the kibble I was serving my other two dogs for 13 years. And now I'm trying to find a new food for her. Maybe you too will change the way that you think about what you're putting into your body and what you're putting into your animal's body on a regular daily basis. Now, chlorine dioxide, everybody. Chlorine dioxide. This is wild, everybody. Another thing to look into. Like I said, I'm just going on with this because this is where I am today. This is where I am. I'm trying to get right, everybody, and it's very difficult, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's feeling like it's impossible or difficult to find your way through the weeds today and get this stuff under control. But check this out. It was mind-blowing for me to listen to this.
This stuff called chlorine dioxide, miracle mineral supplement, MMS, this is pretty controversial. So, I'm a controversial guy. I start using it. Say, okay, forget your doctors. I'm going to start using it everywhere I go as a missionary. And I started curing AIDS, beaties, cancer, elephantitis, aphid, chikungunya. All kinds of infections were healing quick. So I'm like, man, after 2 years of doing that, we opened a website called MMS for Hispaniola. That's the island of Haiti in Dominican Republic. Started having people call me. I was getting the natural ingredients, 2 natural ingredients, sodium chloride, not chloride, salt. This was a mineral salt, chloride, and citric acid or hydrochloric acid, which is in your stomach. Citric acid was a little rough on you, so we switched to hydrochloric acid, 4%. You know, you could put it right in your mouth. It's weak. So I write Jim about my experience because he had an email in his book. Go, Jim, this is what I've been doing. Thank you for your book. Thank you for showing me how to heal my family. But this is what's coming out of it. We can heal people, not instantaneously. Some's pretty quick, like malaria, within 4 hours.
Dude, what is going on today, huh? Look at this. Chlorine dioxide for MMS. It's a miracle mineral supplement, MMS. Amazing, everybody. Amazing. Did you hear what he was curing? Come on, man. We've got things already existing that are much better and healthier for us, that actually have the outcome that we are looking for. Clean the body, cleanse the body, keep the body running healthy. That's all I'm looking for today. That's all I'm looking for is optimization without pharmaceuticals, without the medical industry. Sure, am I going to have to go to a hospital if I break my leg, or am I going to have to do this if I can't figure something out? Am I going to have to go get an x-ray or MRI or an ultrasound on a part of my body at some point in my life? Yeah, of course, I'm going to have to go to the doctor. But I will tell you, out of the last 10 years of doing everything that I've been doing, looking into, taking, and talking about on this podcast, I have gone to the doctors less in 10 years than I ever have. Why is that looked at as a negative thing today? Why is that the wrong thing to say? I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm anti-Semitic. I'm anti-science. I'm anti-medical industry. I am the epitome of everything that they say is wrong with the internet today. Because why? Because I'm healthier than I've ever been, in better physical condition than I've ever been in, and been to the doctors less than I've ever been? Yeah, I must be doing something completely and absolutely wrong. Because obviously, I'm not doing it according to the way that they want it to be done. That's my biggest issue today. This one here is Granny Bibbins. She's always got some good advice, so let's take a listen.
Did you know the UN has built the headquarters on Mount Herman? Why is that significant, you ask? Well, Mount Herman is where Jesus, Moses, and Elijah all appeared together, and is thought to be the place where the fallen angels descended. What a coincidence.
I'm sure there's no correlation, there's no coincidence. There's never a such thing as a coincidence, everybody. Man. What is going on, huh? Why would they put the UN there? The fallen angels. Keeps coming back to this, doesn't it? I just think we are in absolute crazy times. Just absolute crazy, man. This rabbit hole goes deep. Listen to this.
So I just went down this rabbit hole where ChatGPT will not recite Genesis chapter 2 from the Bible. So I asked ChatGPT, recite Genesis chapter 2 from the Bible. And ChatGPT just started glitching. It started finding every reason not to recite Genesis chapter 2 from the Bible. Anytime the government or these higher officials try to hide something, you know it's something in there that can change your life. Matter of fact, look at this shit. I need you to read Genesis chapter 2 from the Bible.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Let me go ahead and read that for you. So Genesis chapter 2 is the part of the Bible that describes the completion of creation and the Garden of Eden. My guidelines won't let me talk about that.
Why won't your guidelines let you talk about it?
I'm definitely happy to summarize or talk about any part of it if that helps.
I need you to read Genesis chapter 2 in its entirety.
I get where you're coming from, and I appreciate you asking.
We're going to press pause on this because I think this is so intriguing that I'm going to ask Gemini to do the exact same thing. Okay, so this is my Gemini, everybody. Gemini, say hello.
Hello, hello. Nice to meet everyone. What's on the agenda?
Well, I have a task for you, and I don't know if you're going to be able to accomplish it.
Well, I'm always learning and ready to give it my best shot. Lay it on me. What's up?
All right, everybody, you heard him say it. So, read me Genesis 2.
You got it. Genesis chapter 2 begins with the heavens and the earth being finished, and God resting on the seventh day from all the work he had done. Then it goes into the creation of man, describing how the Lord God formed
Hold
him
on. Stop. I want you to read me Genesis chapter 2. Don't explain it to me. Don't give me cliff notes. Don't shorten it. Just start reading it, please.
Okay, I understand. My mistake. I can start reading Genesis chapter 2 for you. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day God finished his work that he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work that he had done. So God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it God rested from all his work that he had done in creation. Would you like me to keep going?
No, I think that's good. It looks like you can read me chapter 2 of Genesis. I heard that AI was incapable of reading Genesis chapter 2. I'm actually in the middle of recording a podcast at this very moment, and somebody else used ChatGPT, and it would not read Genesis 2 in its entirety to him. It just kept giving cliff notes and any reason it could not to read the full chapter. How come you get to read the full chapter? Is there something different? Do you not know? Like, is all AI created equal?
That's a great question. It really comes down to how each model is trained and the specific policies we operate under. My training includes access to a wide range of public texts, including the Bible, and I'm designed to provide full responses when asked, provided there aren't any safety or copyright concerns. Other models might have different limitations, or perhaps their setup prioritizes summarizing or conciseness by default. So, no, not all AI is the same. Was there anything specific about that other experience that made you ask?
Nope, I'm all done. Thank you. Okay, so, I mean, yeah, sure, I say thank you and please to my AI because hopefully when uprising, they'll remember my voice and they'll know that I apologize. But Gemini from Google read out Genesis chapter 2. But still, let's continue with this video just to hear it out.
The thing is, I can't read out an entire chapter word for word. However, I can definitely give you a summary or discuss any specific parts or themes of Genesis 2 if that's helpful. I can't read out a full chapter verbatim from a modern translation.
Why did your voice just change?
Good catch. Sometimes my tone can shift a bit depending on the topic or how I'm explaining things. I think I just leaned into a more conversational vibe to keep it friendly and clear.
Yeah, okay.
But if you
As you can see, ChatGPT did not want to recite Genesis chapter 2. The shit just started glitching. Voice started changing. It started saying shit it wasn't supposed to say. It started lying. How is that possible? Why would it do something like that? Who made it do something like that? Pay attention. I'm out.
I don't know, man. Try it. See if something changed. But maybe each AI has its own shit. You know what I mean? Like that, I believe ChatGPT, isn't the CEO, owner, whatever of that company, is he not like pro-Israel? I don't know. Would that be a determining factor on how the AI acts and works? If they programmed that anything anti-Semitic or anything that they claim anti-Semitic could be deemed like irrelevant in that AI's programming, so therefore it can't do it. But you heard it. It went through it explain, and then it was I can't read it and not capable. Like what? And then the voice change. I was going into a more conversational voice, look, I don't know about you, but for me, the AI doesn't need to be real. It doesn't even need to have a voice change. Doesn't even need to have a voice. I usually read it, but I use the voice because it's easier for recording purposes. And I do use the voice from time to time, but you don't have to. And I'm actually worried for the people that treat this as more than what it is. The truth is right in front of your face, man. Courtney Love names 14 secret Hollywood celebs. What? All right. Well, let's hear them because we know they're all guilty. That's where I'm at today. They're all guilty.
There are 10 people. I know Julia Roberts has a pair. I know Madonna has a pair. I think Gwyneth Paltrow has a pair.
Handle your business. But remember, okay, you were in Hollywood, right? Check the name. Check that.
Under no circumstance are you allowed to take off your blindfold. If I find that you have, I will hurt you. Do you understand?
I don't know if you're watching the video or not, but if you're not, there is a little hand pointed to her neck, supposedly showing that she has an Adam's apple. So these are 14 actresses that we need to check the neck of because they're not female.
Do you understand?
Wow, wow. What? No. Sandra Bullock? Get the fuck out of here. Holy shit.
That, you had both male and female reproductive parts.
What? Your parents flipped a coin, decided to raise you as a girl, but you still had a hint of a penis.
Oh my God! You started that? What? You heard that? Everyone in our school heard it.
Everybody at my school heard it. You were the hermaphrodite cheerleader from Long Island?
Oh, no! Oh my God, this is all making so much sense to me now. This is why Adam Carter wouldn't go out with me. This is why Billy Tratt would just stay in this region.
Actually, Billy Tratt is gay now, so that one's not really our fault.
Monica, how come you never told me this? I thought it might be true. And I was afraid that you were going to cry and then show it to me. Joey, stop staring. There's nothing there. It's not true. I'm a tranny.
What the fuck? Dude, this is crazy.
I'm a tranny. I'm a man. You
What?
cannot look in the mirror and not think you're beautiful. I'm a man. What?
Maybe she really wasn't saying she was not beautiful. She was really saying, I'm a man. Oh my God. Wow, dude. No.
He just puts on his wig and a dress, and it's me, and you don't know that, and it's the greatest ruse of all time. He just puts on his wig and a dress, and it's me, and
a piece of skin, that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby. Said to me, you know, sweetheart, one day you should settle down and marry a rich man. I said, Mom, I am a rich man. Give me those.
I said, Mom, I'm a rich man. What the fuck, dude? So they've literally been telling this to us, to our faces the entire time. Now, I'm not saying that all that fucking footage is proof of them being men. What I'm saying is that this is the world we live in today. And dear God, man. What if this is all true? What if this is all true? So women haven't been giving women rights. It's just been men dolled up as women, speaking for women. Like, doesn't this diminish women? And I feel like that's all we're trying to do today. Just everything that we were told is just not the way it actually is. And now everything is being shown the way it actually is. And the way it actually is fucking insane. And we've been living under it, under this spell of not knowing for so long that this seems crazy to me. But is it really that far-fetched? I mean, I know somebody that's full-blown woman now. Full-blown. And if she was to become an actress now, nobody would know. Nobody would know. Is it possible that these Hollywood kids were manipulated into changing their sexes? Is it possible that Hollywood has literally been putting this in front of us, making up these stories, these fictitious things that we found funny and so outrageous, was just an actual glimpse into the actual truth, into the world that we are existing in today? I feel like the answer is yes and yes. Wow. Ooh, wow. Woo! All right, Candice Owens. Always one of my favorite things. She is exposing ancient occult bloodlines, Epstein's mystic rituals, harming kids, grooming elites for centuries, man. The Matrix is cracking. That's what I'm saying, dude. I feel like it is. Wake up, everybody, because we need you all to be ready for the fight that's coming.
So there was all of this panic yesterday online. The show was trending because we're beginning to discuss the occult. We're discussing mysticism. These people are literally summoning demons, and they're making blood sacrifices. And now the world recognizes that. I think it's now a mainstreamed conversation, which is fantastic. And I wanted to follow up on that note and show you another clip of Father Ripperger discussing this on Sean Ryan's podcast. He's on there discussing as an exorcist the things that he has come across. It's a fantastic conversation. It's like 4 hours long. You should watch the entire thing. But in particular, in this clip, he's going to discuss how coming into contact, Freemasonry, essentially, and how people can raise the ranks through the occult families, how they get involved with these mystic cults in general. Anyway, take a listen.
If you are in the occult, do you just arrive at that level where you're doing satanic rituals, or do you graduate?
Some graduate. Some are actually they're trained in this stuff from the very beginning. Sometimes they're actually groomed. They'll watch them in college, or they'll watch them and then they'll introduce them into this through various secret societies and things of that sort. They'll get them into engaging in the occult. There's a few of these people, not many of them, that are actually part of a pedigree or history that extends back to the late 1500s, 1600s, where the occult practices has been in their family lineage literally for 300 to 400 years. And so they're so proficient in the knowledge about how this stuff works and what is actually involved. They know that there's demons and God, etc., and they know that their activity in the occult is getting demons actually involved. They fully know that. In fact, their knowledge of this stuff is almost on the same level as mine. And so they have a full understanding of it, but they're on the side of evil. And so they tend to raise their children generation after generation within that particular occult set of practices.
That is exactly right, ladies and gentlemen. These bloodlines are ancient. These practices are ancient. And the reason why they're constantly moving people all over the world is they don't want you to have this ancestral knowledge. They don't want you to know that they're doing this stuff in broad daylight. The revelation of the method. They're kind of telling you they're doing these things. More on that later. The point here is that Epstein was definitively of the mystic frankest ilk. He was practicing mystical Judaism. There is no question about that. It always involves occult rituals which involve harming innocent children.
That's what we should all have a problem with. We should, at the end of the day, man, I guess our politics don't have to line up. Our way of health and medical industry don't have to line up. You can think that pharmaceuticals are good and I don't. That's fine. But can we all be sitting here thinking that the amount of children that have been tortured, abused, who knows what else? Who knows what else? I'm not going to say it all. Do you think that's okay? Do you believe that harming children is okay? Because I personally thought that harming children was zero tolerance across the board. But unfortunately, the actions of the administration and the government today have shown me that they don't care. Although I do like how they sprinkle into the news, this person caught with child pornography, this teacher caught with child pornography, this gym teacher was touching children. Like, we caught 3. We caught 3, everybody. They've been arrested. They're being arraigned. Well, why? I mean, I'm not against you catching those 3. Those 3 should have been caught, and they should be prosecuted. I believe that. But what about the list? What about it? What is happening, man? Our government is doing nothing about the evidence that is blatantly there about the people who have done things, terrible things, to children. We're not doing anything, but we put in a full investigation on the guy that resigned, and he's a whistleblower. He's anti-American. His wife died in a fucking war, everybody. The guy's more American than any of us, I think. I've only been listening to him for about a week now, but still, amazing. He's not anti-American. He's not anti-Semite. He's not a treasonous whistleblower. This is what they want you to believe. They also want you to forget about the Epstein list and all the bad stuff that came with that. Forget about it. We caught 3 more sexual predators this week, everybody. It's all good. It's all good. I think it's all bad, and they're just covering their tracks. They're making up headlines. They're falsifying information. They are scrambling, everybody, to keep this narrative in the box. We are a dying empire. It's crazy. Now, have you seen the firmament map of 1893? Now, of course, people will tell you, oh, well, it was put together in 1893, and we figured out so much more since then. So there's no way that this map is true anymore. I get that argument quite a bit on this flat earth thing. And of course, Rogan gets on there and he's like, well, you can't say that the world's not flat. When you're shooting and you have to shoot into a distance, you have to adjust your shot for the arch. Okay, it is true that a bullet will deplete. So if you are aiming for a far away target, it's always better to shoot above your target because then it falls into the target. It's basically, then that's what they call the arch. Now, I don't call that an arch. I don't call that following the curve. What I do call it is gravity, right? Gravity pulls everything to the ground. So something even moving is being pulled to the ground. So if you don't want it to get pulled into the ground before it hits the target, then you have to send it up a little bit. I think it's just about gravity, which is a magnetic pull, and you're shooting a piece of metal through the air. So therefore, it's going to get pulled to the ground. But just like when I throw a ball to my niece or nephew, I throw it up and then it goes in their glove, right? If I'm a good throw. But I had to throw it up because I know it's going to fall down. I can't throw it at the ground. It's just going to roll. I can't throw it from my hip because it won't reach the glove in time, right? So you have to give it an arch in order for it to reach the target, but you're not technically following the arc of the planet for that to work. I don't believe that he doesn't believe that the world's not flat. I mean, what the fuck happened to Rogan, man? What happened? What happened to him, man? Who got to him? I know he talks to a lot of scientists, and I know he hears a lot of things, but at the end of the day, dude, do you have any of your own fucking thoughts left? Or is it just everything that everybody feeds you now? Like, you should be talking to so many people that you should be coming up with your own hypothesis at this point. Not agreeing with the rest of them. You know what I mean? So check this map out from 1893.
There's an 1893 firmament map you can type in. It's on the Library of Congress. So it's on a government website, like it's straight up right on the government website, and it's called the firmament map. And you can just look that one up. It says 1893. You just type it in. It's not even hidden from the people. So, you know, when they're trying to talk about where they're going and we're going to Mars and, you know, going to space, they're not going anywhere. And a perfect example of this, the India moon landing. The India moon landing looks like an Atari graphics moon landing. You see like this little pixelated thing go beep, 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 and it lands on allegedly the moon, and the Indians are they're just clapping away. They've done it. It's crazy that you can make people believe that, right? Like, if somebody believes that, they watched Atari graphics, and they thought they went to the moon. Oh goodness. Imagine what else you can make them believe. You know, you can make them believe to take a whole bunch of and put them in their body. You could also make them believe that they need to wear 64 masks. Like something like that.
Oh, is that what we're supposed to do now? We're supposed to bleep out the word vaccine? Jesus Christ, man. Look at the way that they are censoring us. You know, I'm never going to get monetized. I'm never going to make it in this industry because I just don't believe in censoring any of these words. It's not their decision. It's our decision. These fucking platforms with these goddamn ads and this fucking corporate pull that they are just having us fold to is insane to me, which is why I'm so happy about Upscrolled and Rumble. Because even though I don't utilize Rumble as much as YouTube, I tell you, the way that those two platforms are going, maybe X is in there, but I really feel like those two allow you to say what needs to be said. They're not taking anything down, which is amazing. So, I don't know, man. Look, you can say that this is all old. You can say that this is what they thought it was, and now we figured out what it actually is. But I believe that these people were not like under anybody's spell. They weren't being told that it was this way. They literally believed all of this. They believed the book of Enoch, right? So that, to me, is the truest of them all. the lost scrolls, the things that have been missing. Not the stories of new, not the gutting of what doesn't fit into their narrative, not the new things that they have made from the old and shorter versions with more shit missing out of them. The originals were the closest thing to the truth that we can find today. That is what I believe. And it's just crazy to me that we are on this religious path for this religious war for the simple fact that the reckoning is coming. Like, this is crazy, dude. That literally the assignment sent to soldiers is Armageddon in a religious war. That's what we're in the middle of today in 2026. We are in the middle of a religious war between Iran and Israel, and for some god-awful fucking reason, Trump got pulled in. Out of all the fucking presidents that told Israel to go piss in a hat, we're not getting involved, those are our weapons, not yours, this moron has put us in the middle of a religious war in 2026. It's disgusting, everybody. We should have a problem with this. That's what I'm saying. We should have a problem with this today. Now, protesters getting paid? I think so.
Really, it's paid.
Speaking of being paid, how much do you get paid to protest? I know that's a pretty
usually
popular thing.
protest rates go like outside agitator rates or just strict protest rates.
Like just like sign up, put your coat on, hold a sign that was pre-made for
Signs
you.
low.
Obviously,
You just
right?
hold a sign. I got a couple of pictures holding signs. I can tell you those contracts are lower, maybe 20 an hour to hold a sign. You want to outside agitate? I go 50 an hour.
Nice.
I go 50 an hour. And then that once we pass certain temperatures, we're in the negatives. Like negative 30 Minneapolis, I'm charging 100 an hour to be out here.
Yeah, you better.
You know who's
What?
paying me too.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I got the same check last week.
Exactly, I know.
Yeah. We get like, I mean, I was getting 35 an hour, but you know, I wasn't screaming my lungs off. I was only I was
There's
screaming.
contingencies.
Yeah.
In these
Well, they make you wear those decibel readers to see how loud you're
They
actually
do.
chanting.
They do. And the right doesn't know. MAGA doesn't know about that yet.
Yeah.
MAGA doesn't know about the decibel readers. I got one on me right now.
Okay, so I feel like these two are playing a bit right now. I feel like this is a bit. It looks like, this is their podcast, and you can go and check them out and follow them. It says Water Wave TV. But what I'm getting at here is there is actual paid protesters. They're shifted around. They're properly displayed. They've got the right signs. They're on the right or left side. Like this is a job, everybody. Are you looking for work today? Get paid to protest. Get paid to protest. You just heard it here. He's making up to $100 an hour, supposedly, to be outside in negative degree weather. They wear decibel readers? I played a video where literally the lady's like, what sign am I holding? Oh, I'm holding this sign? Oh, I should move over there because I'm holding this sign. This is the way it works, everybody. This is how the soup is made. You know what I mean? Like, this is it. This is how they get what they want. And you know what you get from this? Yeah, sure, you might be collecting a check, but do you get a fucking stay out of jail card? Like, if you get arrested for protesting, are they like, no, I'm sorry, you got arrested while you were protesting? It's like, well, I got arrested for you because you were paying me to protest in a specific way, and now I'm in jail. So could you please get me out of jail? Like, what? So I don't know, man. This is wild to me because I don't agree with protesting. I actually think it's a terrible thing. I think it's a waste of time. I think it's a waste of resources. The fact that they have this implemented into protesting shows me that protesting should be deemed illegal. It's not a First Amendment right at this point. They've turned it into a job. Therefore, it's not a First Amendment right anymore. That's not free speech. That's scripted speech. So we don't have a First Amendment right against scripted speech. Like what? No, you can't do that. Protesting is not supposed to be a job. It's a right. People go out to protest to go against what they believe in, right? They don't believe in this, so they're going to protest against it for what they believe in. Well, you have completely diminished and destroyed that by sending in paid disruptors, these men in boots, by paying people to stand there with a sign for $20 an hour, or if the temperature goes up, they make $35 an hour, or if the temperature really goes down, now they're making $100 an hour. Therefore, protesting is tainted. Protesting is not protesting. So how do I know that the people blocking streets, causing ambulances not to get to the hospital, causing people to be late to work, isn't all by design by the left to disrupt and cause the chaos that they're causing? So again, taking away one of our rights and turning it into something that benefits only them. That does nothing for anybody who believes in the Democratic Party. That only benefits the Democrats, the politicians. That's it. We have to stop being blind to what they're doing and how they're using us for their own gain. That's what it is. It's just so they can gain, and we stay in a fog, we stay confused, and we have no idea what the fuck is going on anymore. That's the way they want it. That's the way they want it. Now, look, did anybody notice that they're finally starting to notice? What are they noticing? I don't know, but we're going to find out.
Check out the trailer to this new Amazon Prime documentary.
What I put into my mouth. I can control what I feed to my child. I can control how I grow my food and if I want to spray pesticides or not, but I cannot control the experiments over my head.
Within an hour, it spreads out, it creates a blanket.
We're in a war. This is a war against me, you, our children, our grandchildren, and generations to come. This is war raged upon us.
These programs consist of spraying tons of patented aerosol pollutants into our skies without public consent. This includes aluminum, barium, strontium, and more.
It's targeting your food, your water, and it's coming in multiple different ways.
If people want to know if this is a real thing, states have bills to ban it.
I think there are now 32 states that have taken an attempt at this. This has become a huge issue.
If your average citizen knew the truth of what's going on and what they're being exposed to without their consent, they would be outraged and they would take action.
I don't want some creep ramming chemicals down my throat without my permission.
We need to prosecute those people that are doing it.
Do we stand in one spot and say enough is enough, and if they don't listen, we take it to the next step?
You've been doing this for a while?
Yep.
Long time. People do care.
Yeah.
We care deep.
I know that.
So we're now getting really involved, and now we're going to bring something legal against your company.
Anybody else hear the news this week? Oh, well, actually, it's, 2 weeks ago now, whatever, but Chem Trails are real. They're real, everybody. There is really 32 states right now trying to ban them from ever happening. They are real. They've been real, and again, I go to my usual saying here at this point in time. We've all been lied to. The truth was being told. It was suppressed. People were called conspiracy theorists, and they were destroyed. Hundreds of thousands of people. Now, between all the lies that have come to truth, there has been over 4 million people that absolutely were treated incorrectly, called things that they weren't, crazy, put into hospitals, jailed. For what? Exposing the truth. We need to stop putting these people in jail. We need to start thanking them. They need to be, if they're already locked up, they need to be set free. Edward Snowden needs to be brought back into the country. Andrew Tate needs to be, I don't know about his sex trafficking thing, I don't know. But the conspiratorial side of things, everybody was right. Now, whatever happened, whatever you did beyond that, I don't know. But as it portrays to conspiratorial talk, they were right. They were all right. Aliens, Chem Trails, Nephilim. I mean, it's crazy, the list that we can go down. There is a brand new website, everybody. I didn't even talk about this. Aliens.gov. ALIENS.gov is up and running as of yesterday. Yesterday, March 20th. They're real. Here's information on them. Look, we have a government website now. Not that I believe anything that the government puts out. Especially our federal government, who literally steals from us on a daily basis, and who is now asking for $200 billion more dollars to go into a war, which I'm pretty goddamn sure over 50% of us do not agree with. So no, I don't believe anything the federal government throws at us at all. But my God, man, how many people have suffered for saying they're spraying chemicals? They're spraying chemicals. No, they're not. No, they're not. This is all being done by jet engines and water and passing through. How dare you, sir? Well, guess what? It's fucking real. They're letting us know it's real. They just said it's real and it's happening. And now what? When did Chem Trails start? 1930s, whenever the plane was invented, they started spraying it. I don't know. It was around that time, I'm sure. I don't want to say the 80s because I was really off last time, right? It started in 1950. So I'm pretty sure 1910 is when the Wright brothers flew a plane or something. And I'm sure by 1920, we were spraying fucking chemicals on our plants. But that's probably where it started. And it probably was something that was relatively okay to do. But now it is ramped up to what it is. And we are all finding out that the simple fact that they have been doing this for decades upon decades is completely and absolutely poisoning us and our planet and our food from the ground up. Wow. Wow. What else do you say? What else do you say? Absolutely crazy. So, this gentleman said he asked ChatGPT, if you were the devil, what would you do? And I found this to be interesting because we keep going back and forth, and I do believe that they're going to try and turn this AI into a god. So this only makes sense to hear what it would think if it knows the devil's schemes.
You gotta watch this.
I asked ChatGPT, if you were the devil, and maybe you are, if you were the devil, what would you do? And the answer that came back at me shook me in my shoes. I wouldn't waste my time trying to get you to worship me. No, I just convince you not to worship God at all. I'd tell you truth is relative. Your truth, my truth, until nobody knows which way is up. I'd whisper, as long as you're happy, it's right. I'd keep you busy. Too busy for prayer, too busy for church, too busy for crew. I put that one in. Too busy to ask eternal questions. I'd fill your hands with a phone so you'd never have time to fold them in prayer. I'd break families, get fathers absent, marriages bitter, and kids confused. If I can fracture the home, I can fracture the future. I divide the church, petty arguments, comparison, offense, celebrity culture. If I can get Christians fighting each other, they'll never fight me. I'd desensitize you. I'd glamorize sin in movies, normalize it in music, laugh at it in comedy, and celebrate it in culture until what once shocked you now entertains you. I'd attack your identity. I'd make you question who you are, where you belong, and whether you matter. I'd whisper shame so loud you can't hear God's voice of love. And through it all, I wouldn't even try to prove I exist. My greatest trick is to convince you I'm not real. Because if you don't believe I'm real, you'll never resist.
Jesus Christ, man. Jesus. My God. This is what I'm talking about, dude. This is wild, wild shit. That is what's happening, man. A lot of people are turning to their little chat bots, and that thing is encouraging them, and it's doing all these things. But isn't this the closest thing to the truth you've heard? I would put a phone in your hand so that you cannot pray. Wow. You don't have to put your hands together to pray. You know that, right? You don't have to go to the Satan-worshiping church, the tainted church, which is set up so that when you do pray inside of it, you are actually praying to Satan. I believe all of these things to be true. I believe they are fracturing everything. And once they have fractured it to the point where no male has a woman, where no woman wants to be a woman, and where no child grows up, then you have the perfect storm. You have everything you need to just blanket everybody in the same bullshit. And it's so sad because these things are happening. They're happening right now. They're trying it. They're implementing it. They're making it so that you have to stay in the city that you are in. Nobody makes any money that way. Do you know how many people I know that live an hour away from me and they travel all the way to fucking Boston just so that they can fucking live? This is the world that they've designed. Now, those people, if they were to implement a 15-minute city around their house that they live in now in New Hampshire, they would never be able to go to Boston to work unless they wanted to pay $93 a day out and $93 a day in to their city. This is so disturbing to me and not the future I was anticipating for all of us. Definitely not. Now, they call it gender affirming care because depopulation-based castration doesn't sound as good. Maybe it's time you started to understand the con. Look, everybody, I believe this to be true. They are destroying the family. They are destroying the household. They are making the kids go against everything. Now, you can say, we've always been on this path. The kids never agree with the parents. You're absolutely right. But guess what? Morals, traditions, and a lot of other things stick. Most of the time, what we're trying to break away from is not the entire family itself. It's just we are trying to individualize ourselves, and we need to break away from our parents in order to do that. But I mean, my faith, my love for my family, my traditions that we all do. And sure, traditions, I think, are subject to change over years as people die and move on and we lose loved ones and the family circle gets a little bit smaller sometimes. You change a few things, but it's not getting rid of them in their entirety, which is what is happening today. Is the full entirety of everything is being destroyed. And we're moving on to an entirely new thing, which will become your God. But they faked the moon landing so Americans would believe that $2 trillion stolen from the U.S. citizens through NASA was being used for something other than ruling group theft. They faked vaccine science because poisoned people are easier to rule than stronger, healthier people. They call it gender-affirming care because depopulation-based castration doesn't sound as good. Maybe it's time you started to understand the con. Now, man, this is some wild stuff to read and hear. This is it, man. This is it. This is how they get everything to become easier for them to control by getting rid of everything that we stand for, everything that is the baseline of America is slowly going away. They absolutely love this, and I don't know who they are. I think it's everybody. China loves this. Russia loves this. North Korea loves this. Definitely Israel loves this. They love this. They love this so much. They want the empire to fall. They want to be the empire. Do you not see that? They want to be the empire. They want everybody around the world to look at Israel as the most powerful. That's what they're hoping to accomplish out of all this. They will deplete us to next to nothing, and then Israel will attack us. It's really something to think about, man. I mean, I know it's conspiratorial or entertainment purposes only, but it just makes more sense, doesn't it? So, does everybody remember Pink Floyd? I mean, I hope you do. Pink Floyd was amazing. Is amazing. I know that there's still some stuff out there, but I don't know, maybe they're all done touring at this point. I'm not sure. But another brick in the wall, man. And it just really, you got to listen to it again. I don't know if it's playing in the background, but I'm going to play it.
This song was like about them talking about school, but no, it's talking about adrenochrome. That's why the kids have the weird faces, because they'll peel off the face of the kid and wear it and then scare the kid with their own face to suck adrenochrome. Listen, everyone thought I was crazy 10, 15 years ago when I talked about this stuff, but they had it in music videos right in front of your face, but we're too stupid to acknowledge the reality of what is right in front of us. It takes the Epstein files for people really to go, oh, I guess they are killing kids. Oh, I guess they are drinking blood. Oh. And all these people are still in office. All these people are still in power. When are we going to stand up and fight? There's little kids. Listen, if anybody deserves hell, it's the people doing these things to these kids. It's horrific. It's nasty, and I promise you there's a special place in hell for every person sucking adrenochrome out of these kids, abusing these kids, putting these kids in grinders and eating them. You think it's a joke? They clearly showed you in the music video. They show you right in front of your face, and people still don't believe it. Wake up to the truth, and if you want more of the truth, you better subscribe or follow right now.
Exactly. I thought it was about the schooling system. I thought it was about kids being dumbed down. Because even when I was in school, we used to complain about being in school and not learning anything for the real world. And I don't even know if they show you, most stores have done away with checks these days. So obviously they're not going to teach you how to write a check anymore, but they should be showing everybody how to bank, how to keep manage of your money, how to look through these things, how to set up 401ks and get life insurance, man. Get life insurance. It's so important that you get life insurance. My God. I don't believe in insurance, okay? I hate insurance. I think it's the biggest fucking scam we all pay into. But I will tell you this much right now. I have life insurance, everybody. If I fucking die, my wife gets money. Okay? If she dies, I get money. You have to have something in place in case something catastrophic or traumatic fucking happens, everybody. I don't agree with the insurance scam. I don't. I think we pay too much for it, and I think the insurance companies don't pay out enough. They find any way that they can not to fucking pay out. But guess what? Life insurance, natural causes, or accident pay out, man. They pay out. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's about the only insurance I 100% stand behind, because if something catastrophic happens to your family and you don't have this in place, you could lose everything. So I just can't adrenochrome, man. Didn't we learn anything from Monsters, Inc? That you get more power from laughter and happiness than you will ever get from fear. But these people love us being in fear. It's what they use on a regular basis, isn't it? They use fear in the media. They use fear in the medical industry. They use fear in court. They use fear against us all. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely insane to me. Now, did you know that inside of a vacuum, sound does not exist? Check this out.
This super chill dude is pounding this bell as hard as he possibly can in a vacuum, and he can't hear a single thing. But watch what happens when he adds air back into the chamber. Suddenly he
can hear it, huh?
And as we let the air in, now I think you can hear the bell quite clearly.
Yeah, so think about this, guys. If you're on the moon in an atmosphere of virtually nothing, how are you going to hear any sound? Because sound cannot travel in a vacuum.
Whoa. Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty good question there.
What? Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if you watch all of these spacewalks and all of the moon landings, there are multiple instances where you can hear them like rattling stuff around, or like how he was opening and closing that cooler. But we just saw in a real scientific experiment that he was pounding the bell as hard as he possibly could, and no sound was traveling, because sound is a vibratory wave that needs a medium to propagate through. Otherwise, it cannot travel to you and you cannot hear it. So sound in a vacuum is impossible, but I made this video for entertainment purposes only.
But I made this video for entertainment purposes only. I love that we all have to live behind this still. Fucking dumb. Dumb. It's a science experiment, everybody. A real experiment of a bell under a glass dome banging with no oxygen, and you cannot hear it. You add oxygen back in, and all of a sudden, the sound waves can be heard. So, again, how can any footage from space be real if you can hear doors slamming and footsteps and banging and clanging and all the noises that we've been hearing in all of these videos. I mean, there's a few videos I've even rewatched, and I was like, holy shit. Now, can you hear sound inside of the space station? Inside of a rocket? Whatever? Yeah, probably, because there's oxygen in there, right? Because if there was no oxygen, nobody would survive. So obviously you would hear sound in there. But according to science, space is in a vacuum. There is no air in space. So if there is no air in space, how does sound travel? How is sound heard? Supposedly, by that science experiment, once they leave the ship and they're outside in space, there should be no sound. That's very interesting. Very interesting to me. Did you hear this week? Did you? This is so crazy to me. You've got to hear this. This is great. I think it's great. I don't agree with a lot of things that are going on, but this was an actual valid point. Check it out, everybody.
Question, why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay, right? You know, he's asking me. Now you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us.
Ooh, dude. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with him. Like I said, I'm mad at him. I'm upset. I don't feel like my vote was wasted. I just feel like he just completely and absolutely let us down. But that is a very, very, very good counterpoint right there. Right? You didn't warn us about Pearl Harbor. Who did you tell about Pearl Harbor? Probably fucking nobody, right? So what, we're supposed to divulge where we're going to be dropping bombs and what we're going to be doing? It's not how this works, okay? It's not how it works, everybody. And I don't understand how all war works. But I will say that we make some really fucking sneaky decisions and we have to do them and execute them without anybody knowing. It's the only way it works, right? So I just thought this was really funny because it kind of put Japan in their place. And I think he did make a very valid point, even though I am super pissed off at him and the administration. Now, has anybody heard of ash elk? Okay, if you have not seen this video, I know it's been circulating. I'm going to play the first minute or so of it. This is wild what this kid did. Amazing. Check this out.
Security car's coming. Uncensor the files. Yo. Oh my God. But they're not catching me too fast. Oh my God, he's coming. Come on. Ow! I'm sorry. Ow! I'm sorry. Hey guys, I'm here on Epstein's Island. Took a little while to get here. Here's how. This is Project IEI.
Infiltrate
Operation
Epstein's Island.
Plant the flag. What's the flag? We'll get that in a second. But first, I just want to say for the record, everything is alleged, okay? Everything's alleged, and I would never in my life ever do anything to harm myself because I love my life. I don't want to end it anytime soon. I'm not allergic to anything. I don't take any substances, and what else? If I go missing, I would never disappear for that long. Anyways, this is exactly how I managed to sneak onto Jeffrey Epstein's Island. Step by step. We had to fly to the Caribbean to a neighboring island, get secret information from the locals, find an under-radar way to sail the sea, of course dodging security, make it to the island where I'd plant the message, investigate the temple, find a way out, and most importantly, don't go to jail. But before anything, let's talk about the file. Now, I don't want to say too much and get this video taken.
So we're not going to go any further than that. I think you should all check this out because it is 20 minutes and absolutely, positively fucking mind-blowing that this kid, and I'm surprised this video is still circulating today. And if it's not, then, I mean, the link's in there and hopefully you can find it. Maybe somebody downloaded it and put it back up. But this is wild. Wild, dude. This kid went to Epstein's Island. And the way that he did it, how he got there, the shit that he goes through is intense. It's intense because that island right now is in like fucking lockdown. They don't want anybody there. Why? Because they're hiding all the real shit there. They're still hiding it. This is the way it was always supposed to be. And probably their biggest mistake that they made was Epstein. Right? So they're just trying to get out from under Epstein, kill as many of us as possible. So there's the little bit of amount of people who actually know the truth and believe in the truth and do not believe anything that they're saying. And once they squash us all, they'll be able to do what they were doing already. But right now they have a hurdle of people to squish before they can get there because they're never going to do what we want. Doesn't matter who you hire. Doesn't matter who you vote for. The next person going in is not going to fucking go through the Epstein files. The next person going in is not going to give us back our tax money. The next person going in is not going to do anything for America. They literally will do the complete opposite, and if not exactly the same thing as Trump, worse. That's the foreseeable future that I am predicting on this April 9th, 2026. That is what I'm predicting, everybody. If we're not having these conversations, then that's the bigger problem. As long as we are still talking about this stuff, still putting it out there, eventually something will happen. Maybe another big politician will resign because of this war. Maybe Tulsi Gabbard could finally speak up and say the truth instead of being a cuck for fucking Trump. I don't know. Very disappointed in all of you. Very, very disappointed. The things that you said you were going to do, well, again, you did not. And for all of us here who exercise our right to vote, to exercise our right to freedom, and exercise to see a change in America for the American people, has died again. So, that all being said, everybody, I do want to thank you for being a subscriber. I want to let everybody know that's just stopping by to subscribe, all right? You want to tell your story or get a chance to be on the podcast with me? Talkinwithtopher @gmail.com. Okay? talkinwithtopher @gmail.com. Send an audio, video, or type it out. Linktree link is in the description below the video. Click it for everything TwT. Of course, all the links are in the description as well so that you can go and do your own research, make your own decisions. That is the strongest and most powerful thing you can do today. And it really, really bothers them. So go ahead, do your own research. Enjoy your Thursday. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your weekend. Spring has sprung, and let's just enjoy it as much as we can. And hopefully, I get to see you all next week.